it's your girl Sunny, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a couple tips that I have when starting your locks, when starting your lock journey. Some things that I wish people would have told me, but you have to experience it sometimes, and when you do, you have those people that are able to share. So I'm that person today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so the first tip that I want to give you guys is that you want to make sure that you find you a loctician. Find your loctician. You want someone who has a platform, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or Pinterest, so that you're able to see what they can do as a loctician, the experience they have, if they know how to do the patterns, whether it be the triangles or the brick patterns. You will also want someone who has locks. I know there's some locticians out there that do not have locks and they're pretty good, but I would recommend someone who has locks because they know exactly what you're about to go through in this first year of starting your locks and all the questions that you may have. You also want a loctician that is available through text messages. Through text messages or like instant messages, some type of messaging, because you're going to have questions and you want someone that's able to answer these questions. Because I guarantee you, when you leave your first appointment, you're going to feel a certain type of way. You're going to have a lot of questions, and they need to be able to answer those questions for you. Your loctician is your lock buddy, all right? So get you someone that you can be open with and have conversations with about your hair, whether it be texting, you sending them pictures of things that you notice. Because my loctician, her and I were very close. That is like bae. And every time I go to her, like, don't get you a loctician where you only can ask questions on your appointments. Like, no. Like, you should be able to text them. Like, you should be able to communicate with your loctician. If they're the type of person where they only want to talk to you when you book an appointment, you don't want them. You do not want a loctician like that. Like, for real, for real. You a loctician that has been doing locks for years. Somebody who has bodies, all right? That's been in their chair. Someone who does locks full time. You don't want anyone who does locks part time, as well as, you don't want anybody that, they help someone start their locks. So they're like, okay, yeah, I'm a loctician now. Or because, whatever the case may be, like, get you someone who is really passionate about locks. Like, seriously, your loctician, that's like that is like key, is you getting your loctician, because they're setting the foundation for your hair, and that is very important. Your foundation means everything, because based on your foundation is how your hair is going to come out. So my second tip is, do not expect to leave your first appointment with locks. You're going to the appointment to set the foundation for your hair. So whether you start your locks with coils, twists, or braids, you're leaving the appointment with a head full of twists, coils, or braids. All right, you're not leaving with locks. I had that expectation when I went to my first appointment, because I had watched all these videos of people with their hair already locked, and I knew for a fact I was leaving with locks, and I wanted my locks to be small, so I requested that they look like Dutchess off of black ink. And so when I left, I really had a lot of little thin, tiny strings hanging from my head. It was about 185, and I'll go ahead and insert a photo. Like, when I left my appointment that day, I had like this little minor meltdown, because I wanted to look like Duchess off black ink. So when I knew that I got out of that chair, I knew I looked like Duchess off black ink, until she showed me the mirror, and I was like, oh, the hell did I just pay for? Look, I could have did this shit myself. I swear on everything. My feelings was hurt when I left that appointment, because it was not what I expected. I did not, when I saw other people videos, this was a tip that I was not given. You're going to go get coils. You're going to go get those twists. That's what you're making this appointment for, all right? But the thing about it is that your loctician is able to do it a certain way so things are like evened out. So, yeah, that was something. All right, so the next tip I want to give you guys is that your coils or your twist or whatever you've set your foundation with, they eventually will unravel. And when that happens, it's okay. Do not touch your hair or whatever. You're welcome to send your loctician a photo. They'll tell you the same thing. It's normal. It will be corrected when you go and get your second retwist or whatever. Just don't touch it. Don't try to retwist it. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, don't touch it. It's gonna come unravel. My hair has came unravel. My hair came unravel on my last appointment. I'm 10 months in. So it's something that will happen your first year. There's nothing you can do to control that. So don't worry about it. It's normal. I promise you it is. Your first like 5 months or so, um, it's your hair is going through the process. So you're going to experience budding. You're going to experience unraveling. You're going to experience, you know, um, shrinkage. It happens. All right. Like, it's okay. Your hair is going to do these things that you're not familiar with because you're going into another style, and this is a style that you are having to let it do what it's supposed to do versus you being before able to style it and make it, force the looks and things like that. This is a style that you just have to let go and just let it be. All right, so my next tip will be do not retwist your hair so much. All right, I will say at the most, and this is something that a lot of people will tell you, you should twist your hair, get your retwist every month at the least. I know there's some people that do it every 2 weeks. I would not recommend that. You have to let your hair be. You don't want to retwist your hair too often. It can cause breakage. So when I first got my locks, well, when I first got my starter locks, I started seeing my loctician every month. And then I would say when I got to about, I believe it was like 4 or 5 months, that's when I started to go 2 months without getting it retwisted. I just got my hair retwisted today, and today is like January the 9th. The last time I got my locks retwisted before today was October the 19th. And then today we're in January 2021, and today's the 9th. And so today is the first time I've gotten my locks retwisted since then. So as your hair mature and as it, starts to lock and bud or whatever, you're able to stretch your retwist out and not retwist so often. Again, you don't want to over twist because you don't want those breakage, and it kind of defeat the purpose of you even getting locks in the first place. Like, don't do it. My next tip, I'm sorry, my camera keeps shaking. My next tip is to protect your locks. So this is something that you're not going to get away from. Whether you were natural before, loose natural before, or relaxed, we've always protected our hair at night with bonnets. It's no different with locks. It's still your hair. You still have to protect your ends and things of that sort. So don't ever think just because you got locks, you could just start doing stuff. No, you still need to protect your locks, especially your starter locks. Your starter locks need to be protected. They're your babies. Like, we need to make sure that they grow big and strong and, great. And you don't want to have lint and stuff stuck in your. I do not like seeing locks where people have like lint stuck in their hair and they have like retwists and it's like cotton balls. And protect your hair, all right? All right, so the next tip is that you guys no longer have to be hair product junkies. You only need a good hair oil or a few hair oils mixed in one, however you want to do it, whether it be peppermint, coconut, or let's see, olive oil. Like, there's so many different types of oils. And then you have a good shampoo, sulfate free. I use Can2, and then water. And the water, you want to drink the water as well as spray it on your hair. All right, and that brings me to my next tip is maintenance. The most maintenance you'll have on your hair will be your retwist. Other than that, you only have to spray it with water and seal it with oil and then wash it. I shampoo my hair once a month. Um, and again, when you shampoo your hair, it will come unravel. Relax, just let it be. So yeah, so shampooing once a month and getting a retwist either a month, every month, or a little bit after when your hair, when you feel like you need a retwist, honestly. And then at night, I just like spray it with water and then seal the ends with oils. Very easy, take less than 5 minutes, honestly, depending on the length of your locks. But with starter locks, it shouldn't take you that long. All right, and then my next tip would be take your photos. You would need to take photos from your first appointment till now. Every month, take your photos because you're going to see your hair every day and you probably won't be able to see the progress that your hair is making. And that's what happened to me. But because I took my photos, I was able to compare the pictures. I posted a lot of comparison pictures as well as the one that's on my cover, and I'll post another at the end of this video. So you guys can see that, hey, my hair is growing and things like that, because when I left my appointment, my hair was like to here. And then I think like a couple days later, no, I'm lying. The next morning, it went from here to here. I took a picture, I was at work. And then probably later that week, which was crazy, it ended up here. Like my hair kept shrinking. And I'm like, yo, so I started to take those photos. And so seeing those photos from when I first got my hair, when I first started my locks to now, it's like, oh, I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. I honestly do. So I just know that my hair is, growing and it's doing what it's supposed to do. So you're going to need that reassurance as well. So just FYI. And this is going to be my last tip. If you're not sure of the size you want your locks, you can always start small and then combine your locks later. Because when I went to my first appointment, I wanted my locks to be small like Duchess off of Black Ink. But then after going through all the retwists and washing and maintaining it, I didn't like how my locks were looking, meaning I felt like because they were so small, they weren't um, locking as quick as I thought they could, if that makes sense. So I went ahead and got them combined. I went from 185 locks. I believe I was 185 locks to I'm now at 87 locks. So yeah, you can always go thicker versus starting off thick and trying to go back thin. So that will be another tip that I would give you guys. So I hope these tips were able to help you guys and to give you a little bit insight of what to expect with your starter locks. I will be inserting some photos of some of the comparison photos I did when I first started my locks. So it's about, I think it's about like 3, not that many of the comparison photos, but trust, I have a whole collage of photos inside my gallery in my phone. So when I do decide to do my 1-year mark, then you guys will be able to see all those photos. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.